Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this really quick lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who we want to learn from, and a shalom to the hopeful elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. This is why I give double honors to the Great Millstone. Okay, and I know that I learn when I read the scriptures, when I listen to lessons. I have the Spirit that comes onto me in my room and teaches me. But I also, when a brother from GMS, I got a question I was asked. Look, very, very out of nowhere, Sunday afternoon, Joel 2:20, but I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate with his face toward the east winds, towards the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Can you break this down? And my answer was no, I can't. I'm somewhat familiar with it, but no. So then, because he asked that question, I began to research it more specifically and got a ton of information on it, and now I understand it better. Am I an expert? No, I'm not. But and this is the area that we're talking about. Now I understand this, though. So when you're looking at the precept, let's go back. Let's go here. Let's go to Joel chapter 2, verses. And this is a future prophecy. Look at this as the address of the location of the very famous, you've heard it, the Battle of Armageddon, the day of the Lord, when it's better said, or it's better titled, Yahweh Shabbat, which means the judgment of Yahweh. So this is a precept that I was asked about, right, in prophecy. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army. Who is the northern army? The northern army is the army of America. It's the eagle. It's the military force of Esau from the position of the west. And America is the great horn whose look is more stout than his fellows. This is why America is at war with everybody, Babylon being the hammer of the earth. So the northern army is the hammer of the earth, if you think about this. But I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into. Now, this is deep, too. I heard a brother saying what this also means is that the military force that's going to physically be in America, they're going to be occupied with this war when this does take place. Okay? That they're not going to, these men are physically not going to be, the military presence will be weakened, or the police presence in America will be weakened. But when this is going on, you got to remember, too, Jacob's trouble will have been active for quite a while, too. So there's going to be a lot of decimation everywhere. But I will remove far off from you the northern army and will drive him into a land barren and desolate. Well, what is this? That's talking about Saudi Arabia. When you go into barren and desolate, it's talking about dryness. Okay? With his face, and all of these keys, all of these lines let you know the address and the location of this place. With his face toward the east sea and his hinder part toward the uttermost sea. These are two bodies of water that are going to be at two sides of this dry place, right? And his stink shall come up. That's another clue. This tells you how many fucking men are going to die in this army. And his ill savor, his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Then when you go to Joel chapter 3, verses 1 and 2, this is also what this is talking about. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, because of this army, because of the fact that Yahushua is within seconds of showing up, what's happening? The rulership that Esau, and the captivity that Esau, and the possession that Esau has had over the northern and southern kingdoms, the elect, is now being destroyed. He's removing the captivity, all in this so many things. You know how it says in Jeremiah 30, that Jacob's trouble is a time like no other time, but I will save him out of it. That's this right here. I will save him out of it. That's Jeremiah 30, talking about him saving the elect out of it. That's what you see also. You can line that precept up with verse 1. Now we go down to verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. What's the valley of Jehoshaphat? That's better interpreted, Yahweh Shaphat. And I will plead with them there. The word plead is to judge, a determination. This is Yahweh. Finally, after all of these generations, he's pouring judgment out on Esau, Edom, the so-called fucking white man, to judge, govern, vindicate, punish, to act as lawgiver or judge or governor of God or man, to rule, govern, judge, to decide a controversy. That's the controversy of Zion, you guys. To execute judgment, discriminating. This is all taking place as Yahweh Shai is on his way to not meet Esau as a man. Condemning and punishing. There's so much in this, you guys. There's a lot. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Verse 3 is another judgment against them, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. This is your Epstein files. This is your Epstein files when they were doing it against us during slavery, and when they still do it against us when they hang us, when they traffic us. And I mean, I think there's like a statistic on how many so-called black women come up missing every year, and there's never any judgment. And of course, also the Epstein files themselves. This is what Esau's been doing in his rulership. All this, okay? So this is the dry area, Saudi Arabia, the East Sea. Hold on, let me get it back. Let me go back to 20 just to read it, so I don't, because I'm freshly new to this, and this again, I specifically learned this by listening to the brothers at GMS. Okay, I had an idea of some of this, but I didn't have the coordinates like this. I didn't have the breakdown on this particular line. But I will move far off from you, the Northern Army. I didn't know who the Northern Army is. The Northern Army is the hammer of the earth, and that is a military force of Babylon, Mystery Babylon. It's talking about America's army. And will drive him into a land barren and desolate. That land, barren and desolate, is right here. Talking about Saudi Arabia. All this area right up in here. Okay? And if you look, this is a body of water with this major river pouring into it. And this is a body of water. And there goes your coordinates. Look. I will drive the Northern Army. I will drive him into the land barren and desolate with his face toward the East Sea. This is the East Sea, but it's mainly talking about these rivers, which is the river Euphrates, which is drying up right now. That river is pouring in to the Persian Gulf, and that's the East Sea. Okay, so look. With his face toward the East Sea and his hinder, that's your back parts, toward the uttermost sea. What's the uttermost sea? The Red Sea. So we now see, based on this prophecy, that this is the area right here, this yellow area. This is the area of the Battle of Armageddon. This is Yahweh Shaphat. This is the day of the Lord. And this army, this war will be physical between nations, right? And then it will transition from physical war amongst nations to a war with realm against realm. What do I mean by that? That's I got to pull that precept up because now I'm getting the understanding of this better. Realm, it's in Second Esdras. Realm against realm. This is the exchange. Second Ezra 13, and one shall. So the Second Ezra 13:31, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. You see the upward progression. You see the physical human, international, racial kingdom aspect of it, and then it transitions from all of the armies underneath Esau's direction to fight against Yahushua and the chariots. And that's 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And that's the doctrine. If you go into, let me see if I can find it. Reagan talking about aliens, bam. And this is what it is, because they've always known the scriptures.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish.
And there's no differences. Esau has been the hammer of the earth. So you got to understand the precepts. Every time these fucking Edomite men open their mouth, it's always an enchantment. It's always a fucking lie. But because they speak so gently, and they're almost whispering when they're talking, and they have their beard shaved and their hair cut short and their suit and ties with their penis ties, everybody thinks they're speaking correctly. No, these people have fucking taken over the earth through violence, war, and rape, and war and theft. Yeah, he's talking about our differences. He's putting all the other nations involved in the same context as what the so-called white man has done, and that's bullshit.
If we were facing an alien threat from outside this world, and yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war?
So he goes from accusing the chariots and the host, the holy angels in those chariots, as being alien. Then he says, is there not an alien threat among us? And he says that war is an alien threat. So he's speaking with confused speech that doesn't fucking make any sense when you really break down what the fuck he just said, bro. He's like all over the place with his speech because this is how they talk. But this was an actual blasphemous attack against Yahweh Tazabawaka and his armies by calling them aliens. He just put that thought in your mind. Then he makes it sound like, oh, I'm just here for peace. Are the differences among us? Like everybody has had a say in what Esau's doing. But I just wanted to throw that. That's what this is going into, man. Okay? So this is this understanding this prophecy connects you to so much. Okay? But I will move far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea and his hinder parts toward the utmost sea. We understand now that that's what this is right here. It's talking about this area. And if you look up, let me see if I can find another map. The Red Sea, you got Jordan, Egypt, and then you got Jordan up here. If you up here is over here is where Israel is, up in the top left-hand corner. That's where the actual location of Israel is. It's over there. Okay, so you can see that this is the area. The Red Sea is talking about what's behind him, and the Euphrates River and the Persian Gulf is what's in front. And this is the location. This is the location of Yahweh Shaphat, also known as the Battle of Armageddon. So super quick lesson, nothing too, I'm still getting better at it, but this is just to help those of you who listen to my page see this. And this is why we give double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, because we learn from them. We learn from the Holy Spirit, okay? The Spirit does give us individual understandings that line up with the doctrine that GMS teaches, and then those in GMS also themselves teach us. You got to give credit from the source. You always got to do that. That's the most honorable thing to do, man. So I want to be done with this. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem HaKadosh, and double honor to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, of whom I learned from. Hold on real quick. Also, look at this. For behold, now that we know that this is where the army is, right? This is where the location of this battle is. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. What does that mean? That means he's going to turn it around. He's going to take the yoke from off our neck. Let me do this. Let's, Jeremiah, Jacob's trouble. It's Jeremiah 30. But we're gonna. So okay, look. So you read. Let's go back up to the top. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying that, thus speaketh Yahweh, the power of Israel, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will bring again. You see that? You see it? It's the same thing. I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah. That's the northern and southern kingdoms mentioned, because the northern kingdom became Israel by name after the split from what King Solomon did, and Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah became Judah. So there goes the dimensions of the two kingdoms, mainly the elect, saith Yahweh, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. When is this happening? Right here. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, what's happening? I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of Yahweh-Shaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. Plead goes into judge, so you can see it, so you don't just take my word for it. Boom, judge, govern, vindicate, punish. They have to be destroyed. They have to be weakened. They have to have their military destroyed, right? And for whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now go back to Jeremiah 30, verse 4. And these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel, concerning Judah. There goes. So you got to understand, when they speak about the Jews on TV, they always just say Jews or Jewish people. They never mention the split. They never mention northern and southern kingdom, bro. Why? Because it's all counterfeit. Everything Esau says is a fucking lie. You have to go by the script. Verse 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail? It's going to be a very devastating time on the earth, you guys. Jacob's trouble is going to be the most worst time in human history, and we're going to see that right now. As a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. None is like it, for it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right there. For it shall come to pass that in that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. So while all this turbulence is taking place on the earth, people dying left and right, people dying in the wars, famine, all kinds of oppression. Some of us will be martyred. We're also being delivered. Yahushua is freeing us. We are finally getting out of captivity. There's another... Here, look, this one also lines up. Lamentations 4 and 21 and 22, because that's what's happening. Lamentations 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and that cup is war. And then after they lose the war and all the famine, then they go into captivity. They go into slavery, and then Yahushua and the elect are in rulership. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Verse 22, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. That's what you see in Jeremiah 30, and that's what you see in Joel chapter 2, and also Joel chapter 3. It's mentioning it. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, right? So that's what this is. For behold, in those days and in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah. So as he is taking away our captivity and saying that we have accomplished the transgressions and we have paid for it, we have finally finished our punishment that we're paying, he is now going to be pouring the cup out on Esau, Edom through this battle and this war. And it starts off with the nations fighting each other in this area. And this is where Yahushua also shows up in the chariot to zap these motherfuckers, bro. And this is also where we all get, I'm not going to say we get beamed up here, but Yahushua shows up here and begins to fucking zap these fuckers and eliminates Esau's army. Then he beams up the elect, and also at the same time is when the fucking arrows, the ICBM missiles are launched all over America and in Israel. and fucking the whole earth shakes, and we're watching it from up in the chariots down through the fucking firmament. That's the sea of glass mingled with fire. There's a lot connected to this whole prophecy, you guys. Oh, I'm still getting skilled with it, so let me chill because I don't want to say something I shouldn't be saying. But yeah, that's it, man. So I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakadash, and double honor to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from. This is your brother Radah Shalom.